Thank you, Madam Chair. Members, I'm Zenobia Joseph. My comments are in the context of Title VI of the Civil Rights Act of 1964, which prohibits discrimination based on race, color, or national origin. I gave you a handout. I'll start with the information on on number 3. My opposition, I would ask the chair to actually strike line 24, tuition and fees. Specifically, I just would call to your attention that you are not transparent as it relates to the funding. It actually prohibits the participant as well as the providers from sharing any information, and I would ask you to look at the Federal Educational Rights and Privacy Act. I would also ask you to look at state law and to recognize that Government Code Chapter 552, Section 552.023 gives a special right of access to records, and so that appears to contravene the information that you have in the bill. I would ask you to look at number 2. My second recommendation is Section 29.373, Section 8, which specifies that you're not awarding attorney's fees, and I would ask you to include that. If you're talking about serving low-income families, they're not going to be able to afford an attorney, and prohibiting attorney fees would prohibit probably an attorney from taking a case. As it relates specifically to Section 29.358, I would just ask you to recognize, and as it relates to tutoring, to include certified teachers with a proven track record, as well as individuals who have a law degree and those in the STEM fields. Just because a teacher is retired doesn't mean that they are effective with students who are struggling. I would ask you to look at the purpose, specifically to recognize that $10,000 is not enough, and for you to recognize specifically that some of the private schools actually have diversity, equity, and inclusion specified in their mission statement. And so if you are going to consider this year or then this session K-12 DEI, anti-DEI policy, I would ask you to recognize the need to address that for the private schools too. If you have any questions, I'll gladly answer them at this time.
Thank you.